Southwest flight's abrupt descent to avoid mid-air collision, Burbank to Las Vegas. What would you do if your flight suddenly plunged nearly 500 feet just minutes after takeoff? This is exactly what happened to passengers on Southwest Airlines Flight 1496 last Friday. And it's a story you won't want to miss. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this a routine safety maneuver or a sign of larger airspace coordination issues? And this is the part most people miss. No one saw it coming until the alarms went off. Around 6 minutes into the early evening flight from Hollywood Burbank Airport to Las Vegas, Flight Radar 24 data shows the Boeing jet dropped from roughly 14,100 feet to 13,625 feet in an instant. That rapid 475-foot descent occurred after the plane's traffic collision avoidance system, TCAS, issued a resolution advisory. In layman's terms, the automated safety system detected another aircraft closing in and decided to pull down. And the other plane, a British-built Hawker Hunter, tail number N335AX, climbed in response. Eyewitness News reports a passenger from Woodland Hills spoke to ABC7 as soon as the jet touched down safely in Las Vegas. He said the captain announced a collision avoidance maneuver had been triggered. A fellow traveler, Steve Wulashanic, described the sensation as an 8 to 10 second freefall, adding, "Everybody on board started screaming. I honestly thought, this is it." Fortunately, the jetliner diverted smoothly, and although 2 flight attendants were treated for minor injuries on arrival, there were no reported injuries among the 100-plus passengers. TCAS systems are designed to issue a climb command to one aircraft and a descent command to the other when a dangerous mid-air conflict is detected. Preliminary FAA data indicates the 2 planes were still miles apart when pilots got their alerts. Southwest Airlines released a statement saying it's working with the Federal Aviation Administration to understand exactly what happened. Nothing is more important to Southwest than the safety of our customers and employees, the same in red. The FAA has opened an investigation, examining flight data, voice recordings, and air traffic control communications. Aviation experts point out that such abrupt altitude changes, though rare, are a testament to automated safety systems doing their job. Yet some argue it also highlights gaps in human oversight. Have we become too reliant on automation? Could better airspace coordination at busy airports like Burbank prevent future scares? We want to hear from you. Do you trust these computerized safeguards? Or do you think there's a bigger problem brewing in our skies? Share your thoughts below. Agree, disagree, or tell us your own in-flight emergency story. Southwest flight plummets. Injuries and near-miss reported. Imagine the terror of being on a plane that suddenly plunges, sending passengers flying out of their seats and injuring crew members. This was the harrowing experience for those on a Southwest Airlines flight that departed from the Los Angeles area on Friday. The plane, Flight 1496, was en route from Hollywood Burbank Airport to Las Vegas when it encountered a dramatic and alarming situation. Passengers quickly took to social media to share their ordeal, reporting that the pilot had to make a sudden and drastic change in course to avoid a potential mid-air collision with another aircraft. But here's where it gets controversial. The exact cause of the incident remains under investigation, and the details are still unfolding. The FAA has launched an investigation into the incident, which occurred just days after a similar near miss. The FAA emphasized ensuring the safety of everyone in the national airspace system remains our top priority. Southwest Airlines released a statement explaining that the crew responded to 2 onboard traffic alerts, which required them to climb and descend to comply with the alerts. This incident has raised questions about air traffic control and the safety protocols in place. The plane's erratic maneuver left 2 flight attendants injured, and passengers were understandably shaken. Stand-up comedian Jimmy Dore, who was on board, shared his experience on X, stating that the pilot's collision warning system had gone off, prompting the evasive action. Pilot said his collision warning went off and he needed to avoid plane coming at us. Wow, Dore wrote. A flight attendant needed medical attention. His colleague, Steph Zamorano, added that all passengers applauded when the plane finally landed safely. Caitlin Birdie, speaking to Fox News, described the terrifying moment. "It was terrifying. We really thought we were plummeting to a plane crash." She recounted the pilot's announcement over the speaker, explaining that they had almost collided with another plane and had lost contact with air traffic control. "I just remember him saying, 'What just happened was we almost collided with another plane, and I had to make the emergency attempt to go under because we lost service with the air traffic controller,' she said. Adding to the drama, CNN reported that the plane was nearly intercepted by a privately owned Hawker Hunter fighter jet just 6 minutes into its flight. The jet crossed less than 2 miles in front of the Southwest plane and within a few hundred feet of its altitude, according to flight tracking data. The jet had departed from El Paso, Texas, and was headed to Oxnard, California. Despite the chaos, the Southwest flight continued on to Las Vegas, where it landed without further incident. The airline is working closely with the FAA and understands the circumstances better. We appreciate the professionalism of our flight crew and flight attendants in responding to this event. Nothing is more important to Southwest than the safety of our customers and employees, the airline stated. This incident comes on the heels of another near miss involving a Delta regional flight from Minneapolis, which had to perform the sudden evasive maneuver to avoid a U.S. military bomber. And this is the part most people miss. The frequency of these near misses raises important questions about air traffic control and the safety measures in place. Are our skies as safe as we think they are? What can be done to prevent such incidents in the future? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think these near misses are a sign of a larger issue, or are they just isolated incidents? Let's discuss. Terrifying nosedive. Passengers fly out of seats on Southwest flight. Picture this. You're halfway through a flight, sipping your drink, when suddenly the plane plunges downward like a roller coaster. For passengers on Southwest Flight 1496, this terrifying experience was real, and it happened just minutes after takeoff. The aircraft dove sharply to avoid a potential mid-air collision, leaving everyone scrambling for their seats as children and adults screamed, "We're going to crash!" But here's where it gets controversial. Was the sudden drop a necessary safety measure or a miscommunication? A Southwest spokesperson confirmed the crew received 2 traffic alerts shortly after departure, forcing them to adjust their altitude. However, passengers reported flying straight up out of their seats, hitting the ceiling, and even one flight attendant requiring medical attention. "It felt like the Tower of Terror," said Caitlin Birdie, who'd flown the same route before. "We lost contact with air traffic control, and the pilot warned us we almost collided with another plane." FAA noted another aircraft was nearby in Los Angeles airspace, but Southwest emphasized its commitment to safety, stating nothing is more important than our customers' well-being. Meanwhile, social media exploded with stories. Comedian Jimmy Dore shared, "We flew out of our seats, bumped heads, and a flight attendant needed help." And this is the part most people miss. Even though the flight landed uneventfully in Las Vegas, the incident highlights how unpredictable air travel can be. What would you do if you were in that situation? Share your thoughts below, because safety isn't just about rules. It's about moments like these that remind us how fragile our skies can be.